Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
Messy. The following message is brought to you by Novartis. Since partnering with Novartis, I have been thinking a lot about when I was diagnosed with relapsing MS. I kept it a secret at first, and that robbed me of the support I really needed. I finally found the courage to open up about it and quickly learned the importance of speaking up. That means making your voice the loudest in the room. You have to find an MS specialist who's the right fit, who makes you feel seen and heard. It's kind of like dating. That's why I partnered with Novartis to create a 3-step guide to inspire others to own their RMS journeys, recognize their needs, and find a treatment that works for them. Learn more about my story at reframingms.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Christina
and Jamie.
And today we have something incredibly special. It's very personal. Very personal to me. This is one of my best friends in the world. Her name is Jessica Klepser, and the unimaginable, the unthinkable, and the unfathomable happened to her and to our community of friends. And so we really wanted to talk to her because as we speak a lot about grief and our ways of dealing with it, and the world's wanting us to be done with it, or we're not doing it right. And so I wanted to have us have a really important and honest conversation about that subject and watching my friend handle something that is not right. So this is Jessica. And hi, Jessie.
Hi. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Jessica.
I don't know, how you want to start this, my love, but I think it's important to talk about what happened and then we'll go from there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So
last Christmas Eve, after celebrating a beautiful day with my 2 beautiful daughters and my ex-husband, I drove all 3 of them to the airport because they had planned a beautiful vacation in the Caribbean to celebrate the birthday of a dear, dear friend. And they were supposed to come back on January 4th. And they got on a little plane to leave the island on January 4th. And right after takeoff, the little plane, I think the engine, something was wrong with the engine. The plane crashed into the water, and my 2 daughters, Madita and Anik, and my ex-husband Christian, and also the pilot, they all crossed over.
I remember how I found out, which was in the worst way possible for me. And I'm just saying these girls and Christian being so close, that we've been all together since kindergarten. And our girls, Madita and Sadie, were really close friends. And Aniki, the beautiful third wheel, was always here. And and the girls always making sure that she was right there, a part of the plans in the pool. And I remember that day, a couple of our friends were calling really early to me, and I didn't pick up because I thought they're butt dialing me, because no one calls me at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. And then someone just sent me an article, and I saw the words, and I know how I felt. I know how Sadie felt, but I can't imagine how you felt. I still don't know.
I found out that Thursday by a phone call from that dear friend that was with them on the island. And I was at work at that point, and I remember that the call started with the words, "Hey, Jessie, where are you?" And he just wanted to make sure that I'm not driving. And then he told me, and I don't really remember the call. after he delivered the message quickly and without any open questions. And then I asked him later, I'm like, I don't remember. And he said, you screamed a lot. But it was like a 1-minute phone call. And then I had to hang up and had to call a friend to drive me home.
There aren't words, clearly, obviously. And as mothers, like Christina said, it's the unimaginable. I'm so sorry. And I, along with Christina speaking of this unimaginable tragedy that has happened to you, she's also spoken so highly of your grace and your strength and your just how incredibly not surprised but moved she has been with how you have walked through this.
Yeah, it's a lot of people are telling me that I'm strong, and it always sounds a little weird to me because I feel strong also means that you allow yourself to cry and to grieve and to scream. That's all part of being strong. And I just remember that I had 2 beautiful, easy, uncomplicated pregnancies with these girls. And I loved being pregnant because I felt so strong. So it was like right when I was pregnant, I feel that Madita, my oldest one, she gave me this strength that like in the middle of the pregnancy, I decided, and I think it was her talking to me after we did the tour at Cedars. She was like, inside of me, like, Mom, I think we should do this at home. And then I felt strong enough to deliver them both at home. And it was beautiful. And my girls always gave me so much strength. And for me, it feels like they're still doing it. They're still doing it from where they are now.
No doubt.
I want to say something about you, Jess, that, when I've told that you're strong, it's like your character, like who you are. And I know that you go home and you hurt and you're in pain when it's quiet. But I remember during COVID, and then when I was diagnosed, like you were the only person to come see me, and you would like you're like, no, we are coming over. This is what we are doing. And the girls would come, and the girls they'd all 3 of them swim in the pool for hours upon hours upon hours. And we'd tell them that they had to make up water ballets so that we could sneak around the corner to have wine. And we'd come back to an incredible show by the 3 of them. But out of all the parents of our group, and one thing that I've never actually talked about is this group of parents that were together from kindergarten to 5th grade and then beyond for some of us. We've stayed together, and it was a very special group of kids and a very special group of parents that we can still, after all these years, pick up the phone and, well, not all of them will be there for you, and not all of them I want to have be there for me. And I'm sure vice versa to them as well. But you were like, no, I'm coming over. And you still do that. And you have all the codes to my gate, my door, and you have carte blanche to just show up here whenever you feel like it, because for some reason you make me feel better. You make me feel better. Recently, I took Jess to a hotel one night to just get away and have like a girls' night. And we had so much fun. It was so great. And then in the middle of the night, I got really sick and was throwing up. And Jess had her hand on my back and on my arm to take care of me. And you know how much I love you. And I'm so grateful to know you.
Thank you. And Jamie, you don't know this, but my dad, who crossed over years ago, he was also diagnosed with MS. So I grew up with this, and he was diagnosed the year I was born. So it's close, very close to the heart.
Yeah. Wow.
And I know that that sometimes Christina needs a little push in her little tushy. And I'm good at doing that. And I made her go camping at the end of when our girls ended elementary school, and she was like, I cannot do it. And I'm like, oh yes, you can. And
I remember you going.
Mm-hmm. And I still remember her coming, because we had this group camping ground, and there was a long pathway that you had to go to get to the campground. And I still remember you walking there on your plane, and I was so proud of you. And it's like, yes, she's here.
Yeah, she wasn't going to take no for an answer. Fuck no. You were like, no, you're coming. And we are going to, Christian and the girls and I are going to take care of you the entire time. And finally I was like, I can't not go because Jess is going to kick my ass. So I bought 2 really cool tents for me and Sadie. And then I bought this huge one that I was going to call the mom's den, where if we wanted to, we could all the moms could just get in the mom's den and get away from everybody, because we had other chaperones there. But what was so cute is I have never set up a tent in my entire life. And there it was, Christian set up our tents, and Aniki blew up our mattresses. And she was so proud of herself. She's like, Christina, I did it. I did both the mattresses. And I was just like, wow, you are so impressive, young lady. And Christian made me food and walked me to the bathroom. And so that's who we're talking about. We're talking about these incredible angels. And DT was one of my favorite kids I've ever known in my life. Can I tell the swim party story, please?
Yeah.
So the first week of kindergarten, Sadie goes, I met this kid that I really like very much. Her name's Medita. Can she have a play date? And I know at that time you would always stay at the play dates with strangers because you just would. Well, here comes Jessica, this beautiful German woman. I don't even think the car slowed down in the driveway. And you were like, bye. I'll just let me know when you want.
No.
What happened?
Let me get in. No, okay. You offered, you're like, hey, you can stay here or you can just drop her off. And I honestly was a little intimidated because, I didn't know you by that point. I'm like, oh, it's Christina Applegate. She doesn't want to hang with me.
Oh, I didn't know this part. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I just drop her off and, get out of there. And but soon after you called me, a few hours later, that there's a situation and I have to come back.
Yeah. So the first part is I wanted the girls to go swimming. I had made the pool really nice and warm and stuff like that. And I said to the girls, now, mind you, this is 3 days in. We had known each other for 3 days, these kids, right? And I said, girls, the pool's ready. I've got frozen watermelon and stuff. And Medita, I love her. Oh my God. I can see her exactly where she was standing. She comes out, she goes, and I'm going to do a horrible German accent because hers was a little bit thicker back then. She goes, we are playing right now. And when we are done, and she goes, and when we are done, then we will have a swim party. And I went, oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. But the situation was, you've got to describe it because I was horrified that you were going to never let your child in my house again. But
no, Christina called me and she's like, there's a situation. I need you to come back. And so me and Aniki, we came back and I walked into your house, into the kitchen, and the girls were sitting there and they smelled really good and they looked freshly showered. And you were standing there and you're like, yeah, so I was down here preparing a snack and they, for some reason, were in my closet and they found all my red lipstick or lip stain or whatever it's called.
Lip stain, yes.
And then they decided to put lipstick all over their bodies on my white carpet, which is not white any longer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, we will never be invited here. But then Christina was like, so I gave them a bath and I poured myself a glass of wine. I hope that's okay. Do you want one too? And I was like, yes. And I think we're friends. We're friends ever since.
Yeah.
I was going to say that everyone was bonded for life.
Yeah.
But you were the funny, because your reaction was so funny, because you just laughed and then you took a picture of them. She's like, oh my God, I have to get this. And I was horrified because I was like, it's stain. It's like 12 to 15 hour stain, lip stains.
Yeah.
So,
And red.
and we couldn't get it off. And I was like, this woman's never going to let her daughter back here again. And yeah, so that's kind of where we started.
You began.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we never stopped.
Just wanted to take a quick break and share a word from one of Messy's advertisers. Since partnering with Novartis, I have been thinking a lot about when I was first diagnosed with relapsing MS. And to be honest, I was overwhelmed and in denial, and I didn't want to accept it. Eventually, I had to be real with myself, reflect on what was important, reframe how my diagnosis was impacting my life, and focus on how I was feeling. And I wish I'd started thinking about my needs sooner. It helped me get to a place of acceptance and find the right treatment choice for me. And I really hope others don't wait as long as I did. That's why I partnered with Novartis to create a 3-step guide, hoping it can help people speak up and voice their needs. Get the guide at reframingms.com.
Messy is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, I talk a lot about how I hid my MS diagnosis, and it almost felt like I couldn't be myself, my full self. I was hiding behind this mask. And October is a season for wearing masks and costumes, right? But some of us feel like we wear these masks and hide things about ourselves more than we want to at work, in social settings, around our family. And therapy really helped me learn to accept all the parts of myself so I could take off that mask and live authentically and vulnerably the way we do in life and on this podcast. I have benefited greatly for so many reasons from therapy, and that is why we think you should give therapy a try, and more importantly, BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient for you. You can be flexible, have it suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire, and then you will get matched with a licensed therapist. And if you're not vibing with this therapist, you can switch at any time for no additional charge. Therapy can open so many doors in your life, and better than anything else, help you fix a relationship with yourself. So take off that mask with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/messy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/messy. Support for Messy comes from Whoop. As you all know, we have been on the hunt for the absolute best products in the health and wellness space, and we've both recently started using Whoop, one of our sponsors, for today's episode. Their calling card is in their recovery and sleep tracking. So each morning when you wake up, you get a recovery score from 0 to 100 that you can think about as your guide for your approach to your day. When you get started on Whoop, you can set a goal for yourself, whether that's improving your sleep, training smarter or harder, or just simply feeling better. Whoop helps you learn your body's baselines and patterns to coach you with custom recommendations on how to tailor your lifestyle habits, training, and more to unlock your health. It's, by the way, the only wearable that helps pinpoint your stressors with a real-time stress score. This is what I'm the most excited about with my Whoop. It offers science-backed breathwork techniques to activate your parasympathetic response, which you can feel instantly calmer. And it'll track when you get stressed. So maybe mine is right when my kids get off the bus for school, most likely. But then I can have my tools to help me. 87% of their members say they feel healthier with Whoop. And the longer you wear it, the smarter and more personalized the algorithms and feedback you get. You can track 140 different habits, behaviors, and daily decisions to see how they impact your overall health. Again, whether you're starting a new routine or want to experiment with a new supplement or you're trying out meditation, Whoop can help track it all to show you the positives and the negatives of your lifestyle. So head to join.whoop.com/messy to get started today with a free 1-month trial. That's join.whoop.com/messy to get started with your free 1-month trial.
Jessica, I want to go back to something that you said because I think it's really important to say that there's strength in showing your emotions. I think we've somehow got it messed up along the way whenever it was that being strong was to not feel and not be bothered and not deal and just persevere and push on and
Not asking for help.
Right. And I'm sure as you know, Christina and I are on that different path of understanding that that's not the truth and vulnerability is great strength.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to hear that is seemingly what you have allowed yourself to be like during this incredibly unimaginable time.
Yeah. I really, and I was that person before that thought strength is when you push through. I was that person that wouldn't ask for help. Maybe because the way I grew up, with my mom always taking care of my dad. That was the picture I grew up with. That's like, oh, you have to be in charge. You got this. And but I really learned through this that I feel actually vulnerability is the real strength. If you can open up and ask for help when it's needed and really let those that are closest to you look inside your heart. And
what are ways that you ask for help?
I remember this was not me asking for help, and right now it's a completely different ways. But I remember when it happened, that Thursday, one of my friends was like, I think we should start a GoFundMe page for you. And right away I was like, no, I'm not asking for help, especially not for money. And then the next day they were like, so many people are calling. They want to help. And then at one point I was like, okay. And it became this tremendous help because, of course, getting them home from the island. And that was just, I don't know how I would have done it without that. And so but that's of course not like, this wasn't the real answer to your question.
No,
like,
that is, of course,
it's
that
not
is.
that I'm like was asking for money, but I allowed it.
Yes.
And then I also, I think I'm asking for help by just being honest with people and being honest with my friends and letting them know this works for me, this doesn't work for me, or can we maybe change the situation so it's more comfortable. Or I feel like when I show my true self, and that's also kind of asking for help, just showing them this is me right now, and some things work, some things don't work. I'm sure you know this. I mean, I became a new person after this, and I have to myself get to know this person. It's little things, Friday, for example, was always my most favorite day in the week because I would pick them up from school, and everybody knew no school for 2 days. It was the weekend. We would come home and have like a movie night and a pizza party in front of the TV. And now I'm the person who hates Fridays because I'm, coming home to an empty house. And I feel when they left, maybe best to explain it is that they took this chunk of my heart with them. But they also left parts of their heart here. And now I have this new heart, which makes me a new person. And I'm just trying to get to know that person to see, okay, this works and this doesn't. And maybe, for example, last weekend, I had plans with friends on Saturday. We wanted to go out and had this fun thing planned. And I got ready and I went there. And after 30 minutes, I was like, nope, not happening. And I drove home and cried to my Lyft driver. And but then I also thought about it, like the next day when I felt a little better, I'm like, but this is not a failure. It's at least you tried. I got up, I took a shower, I put on some makeup and some clothes, and I tried. And this time it didn't work, but maybe next time it will.
You're being with yourself in every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you can do.
I think this is one thing that, we wanted to touch on. And I think that was why you called and said, can I please talk? Is because, Christian being someone who is in the public and people feel like they have an ownership of you as well, And I know that people, because you do post beautiful pictures if you're down with friends at the beach, but you're not like playing volleyball, fuckers, like, are you serious? Like, so you came into some people kind of judging how you were dealing with what you're feeling. And me, I'm like your little rabid dog. I want to go and beat everybody up, but violence is not the answer. Yes, with my cane.
With your glamorous cane.
But yes.
No, but I it's true. I feel there is judgment in grief. I feel that's completely wrong because there is no right way or wrong way in everyone's journey. You just have to figure out what works for you. And I am a true believer that what you say anonymously or behind someone's back says way more about you than about the person you are talking about. So I feel sorry for these people who write nasty things. I mean, I had this one girl that I just had to call out, and because she replied to one of my Instagram posts that I am a psychopath and a loving mother would have killed herself too. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie, right? Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, you took your story. When I lay back, it's because I'm mad, Jess. I get mad.
I know. Don't get mad. I feel truly sorry. I feel truly sorry for these people. Mm-hmm. And I feel every loving mother knows that my heart is broken. And I don't have to post or prove pictures of me sitting in my bathroom by myself crying. No. That's a given. And that's also no one's business. But if I sometimes see a little bit of hope or have a good day, then, and I like to share and talk about my girls, even if I want to do that till the end of my life, then I'm gonna fucking do it. And who are you to judge me?
You're amazing.
And I also have to say, I feel being kind is so easy. It doesn't cost anything. And it helps so much. And when this happened, the Friday, it turned into this worldwide news story. And first I was like, shit, I'm not used to this, to be like all of a sudden in the public eye. And I said, my life turns into a news story. And in the end, I actually think it helped me a little, because all of a sudden, so many people were feeling sorry for me. And not only sorry, they were sending their love and their wishes and their energy. They sent it to me. And I was with a group of friends and we could all feel it. In those first days, I had moments where my whole body was kind of as if it was vibrating, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can feel the energy. So being kind is easy and it works. I heard you saying the other day, I listened to one of the episodes when you talked about your beautiful champion son, Bo, that it worked for him as well, that so many people sent him positive energy and love, and it works. It really works. And it's so easy.
You're so right. I had never felt it like that. And it's so powerful. It's hard to find the words. And I'm so grateful that you were able to feel that and receive that and have the perspective that you have. I really hope you write a book.
I did start writing it all down because it helps me so much. It helps me so much. It's
well
hard
for you, but yeah.
Yeah.
When you told me that about, the woman saying that, it's interesting when I found out on Friday morning, and I thought to myself, if that happened to me, I wouldn't want to be here. But there was something that I know about you that you would. And I love when you talk about that you feel them all the time. And I love when we were in the elevator at the hotel and I couldn't think of a word. And you asked Aniki what the word was. And immediately the word happened.
Oh.
And Jessica goes, all right, Aniki, now spell it. And we just laughed so hard because I guess she wasn't the greatest speller or something, but she's like, would come up with words. And I remember that. But I mean, I know that feeling of like, I don't know if I could be here, but watching you, it's like, okay, I could. I mean, we are all moms. Like, we can't even imagine. I know how much pain, Sadie has been in, and I have been in, and our friends have been in because of this for so long. I can't even, I can't even fucking imagine.
I know. But and when it happened, before they went, there was a time where Christian asked, hey, should we make this, even though we were separated, we were still very, very close, and managed to become great friends again, more than that, like family again. And he asked, like, hey, you wanna come with us and we make this like a family trip? And for some reason I said no. But on the 4th, January 4th, I was thinking like, I should have been on that plane. Why am I sitting here? And then something shifted. And every time I have this mind shift, I feel it's the ladies up there coming into my head and into my heart. And I was like, no, first of all, there must be a reason why I said no and why I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot let them down now. I cannot let them down. I have to make them proud. And I also feel that I am in this very unique situation that I know, first of all, my girls loved each other so much. And I know that Christian loved them almost as much as I do. And that I'm in the situation they are together. They are with their dad. We're still doing this co-parenting thing, kind of. He's with them. He's taking care of them for now until I am gonna join them. And that helps me. That helps me so much. to know that they are not alone.
I'm in awe of you and your. It feels right. It makes sense. It's real. I believe in everything that you're saying and feeling and believe, but the way you so eloquently are able to tell us all of this, I'm very grateful that you're here with us and speaking with us, and that you still feel so connected.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing is, before that, I would not have called myself a spiritual person.
Wow.
For me, it was always clear that, okay, when the lights are out, the lights are out. And now I just know that's not the case. I just know it because I can feel it. It's like this, sometimes like this, like kind of like this matrix where I cannot see them, but they are right there. I just cannot reach through there, but they are there. Not all the time, because, I'm sure they have things to do. And also to be with other people who their hearts are broken as well. But when I need them the most, then I can feel them the most.
Wow. Bo, after he had come out of sort of being where he was at mentally while he was so ill, he spoke very clearly of that. We never had any spiritual talks as a family, but he is so clear on God and people just being right here, exactly as you described.
Oh, I love that.
Just another confirmation for you, though you don't need it.
Support for Messy comes from Everyday Dose. Say hello to the next generation of coffee. Everyday Dose combines delicious coffee with functional mushrooms, nootropics, and collagen protein for boosted focus, clarity, energy, sleep, and immunity. Everyday Dose is not a coffee alternative. It is the next generation of coffee. It's only 5 ingredients: coffee, lion's mane, chaga, L-theanine, and collagen protein. I have loved switching to Everyday Dose because I don't have like those jitters, like that kind of weird feeling that gives you a little bit of anxiety a little bit when you have your coffee. I feel more awake. I feel like my cognitive function has improved, memory, my focus, and it has an optimal amount of caffeine, 45 milligrams, to energize you without negatively impacting the adrenal system. Also, the collagen protein, essential amino acids, they directly support your intestinal tissue, which helps reduce bloating and keep you regular, and we all love that. And then collagen protein, hello, it helps maintain your skin elasticity, your volume, your moisture, all the things that we're looking for. It's like an addition to your skincare routine. So head over to everydaydose.com/messy for 25% off plus 5 free gifts with your first order. Your first month, you will get a USB rechargeable frother, gunmetal dose spoon, a breathwork app by Othership, a wellness booklet with a sticker, and every month after you get amazing free gifts with your order. So go to everydaydose.com/messy for 25% off plus 5 free gifts with your first order. Support for Messy comes from Zoc Doc. There are some things in life that are totally okay to be a total crapshoot, like a cheap Instagram ad impulse buy, or rolling the dice in a new workout class, or mixing it up with a new takeout spot. But finding the right doctor should not be a total crapshoot. And with Zoc Doc, it's not, because you've got more options than you know. So if you don't know what Zoc Doc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every type of specialty, from mental health to dental health, neurology, eye care, skin care, so much more. Plus, Zoc Doc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. And you can even score sometimes same day appointments. They have highly rated doctors. They're verified by patients. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are nearby. All the filters you wish you need, they have. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/messy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/messy. ZocDoc.com/messy.
In the judgment of grief, I'm sure you also find, people, as you're trying to obviously be with yourself moment to moment and not knowing what you need in each of those times. There's the people around you even that love you and care for you that are unsure of what it is that you need from them as well. To anyone out there that might be listening and is unsure of how to be there for somebody that might be going through something, is there anything you can tell them? Because I fear that there's sometimes people that, because they don't know what to do, they pull back.
That would be me. And Jess knows that. Like, I get afraid to and this is crazy, and she knows, I get afraid to talk about Sadie's day sometimes.
Sure.
Because
yeah,
I have her here, and then I'm like, am I being fucking insensitive? And, sometimes I feel that way, Jess. Like, I get scared, and then I don't want you to see me cry, which you're going to see me cry, because I'm like, but all my tears and all my pain is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I miss them, but,
mm-hmm.
and my daughter's heart is broken, and, so sometimes I don't know what to do. So that's a wonderful question, Jamie, because I actually would like to know the answer to that.
Being there for the person that grieves. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but being there and being honest. I always tell you when you cry, Christina, and you always say, I'm sorry. I always tell you, don't be sorry. I, for myself, tell everyone, I don't want you to tiptoe around me. And usually when people, another friend of mine, we spent the weekend together, and she started crying, and she also said, I'm so sorry. And I was like, don't be sorry. It just shows me that I am not the only one missing them.
Oh,
it's like I love to hear, not love to hear. That sounds stupid, but it helps me to hear, not everything in your life has gone back to normal. That you are still thinking about them, and you're still heartbroken, and you also still miss them. I know I'm not the only person who misses them, so I love to hear that. I also like to be, don't tiptoe around me. I have another friend, and I love that. We were talking about, it was during the summer, and she is also a very hands-on mom, and she does a lot of things for her family. And it was the first summer where both of her kids were in a week-long camp. And she said, I can't wait to have this 1 week without my kids. And I said, thank you for saying that, because it's true. We've all been there. she doesn't want her kids to go away. She just wants a little break. And she trusts me enough to share this with me. I didn't, when my kids were still around, I had these days too, where it's a lot to parent, and sometimes you look forward to a little break. And I was like, thank you for not being too afraid to tell me how you feel. And also, if something hurts my feelings, then let me say it, and then we can talk about it. And, but yeah, I feel that helps. I love when people send me texts out of the blue and just like, hey, this popped up on my phone, or hey, this memory came up. And thinking about the girls or thinking about Christian, and it helps. It helps to not think, oh, I want to avoid this topic, because I feel everybody who misses a person or grieves a person wants to talk about that person. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I feel. And so, yeah that helps me.
I also want to try to make you laugh when we're hanging out, which we're going to do right after we're recording here. Are you still coming over?
I will.
We might need to have a repeat of last week, which we will not discuss. Anyway, and I'm going to say funny is that Medita always in the group shots is in front. Always. Like no matter where we are, at a birthday party, at the camp, with them hiking on the trails, in the library. I just found all these ones from the library when Miss Myrtle and I were doing our last time, doing our little scenes that we would do. And who's right up in front? Little Dee Dee.
She was her father's, or still is her father's daughter. A little performer. No, for sure. For sure. This is also something when speaking of helping, Jamie, when this happened, the school where Aniki was still in, but where Sadie and Medita met, Wonderland Elementary in Laurel Canyon, what they did was unbelievable. I mean, it happened on Thursday. The following Monday was the first day back to school, and they just basically didn't shut the school down. There was no real school. It was, everybody got together. They brought counselors in, and I think this was going on for the first week. And everybody was like writing letters, and the whole MPR was full of their pictures. And also not just, they didn't do it for me, I'm sure also, but also for those kids. I felt that was, those little hearts got broken, their closest friends, and they were like 9-10 years old. And Medita's friends a little bit older, and all of a sudden they like, oh, it's back to school, and then one seat is empty, and with this story that it was a plane crash, and so this is also something that helps, is community, to have a good community, to have your people to look out for each other, to talk to each other, to see each other. And I guess love each other.
I was going to say, and if you don't want to, I want you to explain what it is, but there was a little boy in Aniki's class. He was in Aniki's class who wrote the song, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he wrote a song for Anik. And there was a talent show. And this beautiful little boy passed out the lyrics to everyone in the audience and performed it up on stage. And Jess asked me to come, and we got our little pod of people, just a couple of us, and we sat right in front. And here, you tell about it, because it was one of the I have chills up and down all of myself right now, because it was incredible.
Yeah, it was the last day of the school year, so right before summer break, and they always have a talent show. And this little boy, Xavier, and two of Aniki's besties, Agnes and Vera, they performed this song. And I know that they were scared to perform it. but they wanted to do it for Aniki. The song is called Angel, Angel, Beautiful Friend. Send me your love, I sent you mine. And it was absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Christina sent me a video of it.
I hope that's okay, Jess, because I needed
Of
to share
course.
that
Oh,
because-
yeah. She just wanted to share how
Of
beautiful
course.
it was. And
Of course.
Children have so much love and so much purity and innocence. And to see those kids be able to channel their feelings like that was just so moving.
Absolutely. That is also something that helped me right in January. The first, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, I had like a group of friends with me. We were like 7 or 8. And at one point I was like, okay, let's put a lid over this house. I don't want anybody else, but you guys are not going anywhere. Stay with me. So we called it our little bubble. The only people I allowed in were the closest friends of my girls, because not only to help them, but it also helped me to just, sit with them in their room. And my girls had so many stuffies. So I was like, if you want to pick a stuffy so that you have something to hold on to, or like a t-shirt that reminds you. And it helps me. I love kids. And I still have dates with their friends, and we're going to go ice cream or watch a movie. And kids are so pure and so wise when it comes to that, and just
Yes.
open. And they don't talk to me with a filter because they have not learned yet how. They ask questions. I mean, when they did that at school, that everybody could write a little note in that first week. At one point, I got all those little letters, and I was reading them all, and I was crying, but I also sometimes was laughing about their brutal honesty. Bye, Aniki. Hope you have fun in heaven. Stuff. It's just so like, I hope it's a party up there and you can eat cake all day. And it's just, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, you just said kids aren't afraid to ask questions. They don't feel the pressure to have to get it right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just pure with their feelings, and I wish we'd ever lost that. I wish that we were able. That's the beauty of children, is because it's a shame that we ever feel scared to ask questions, or how would it be better for me to do it this way or that way. Yeah.
And I think, I don't know how the girl, like Medita's friends from her new school were, because I know being 13, their age, 12, and, 13, that for Sadie, like, she just shut down and did not want to talk about it. And here we are in whatever month this is, because I don't know time anymore. And it's like, I feel her like on the precipice of wanting to like talk about stuff, like she finally put the bracelet on. We wear these bracelets for the girls. And I have pictures next to my bed of, like, I'm all about like waking up and I want to feel and I want to talk, and she's just really shut down. But Jess, I feel like she's kind of like getting to this place that she's, I think, ready to kind of, I don't know, deal with it or acknowledge it and remember them, because it was like everything shut down because 13,
Of course. Of course. And I
hope she does, because I know that it's broken her, but anyway, sorry, what were you going to say? Like,
no, that it's probably also, it's not the same for all the kids. I know also kids in Aniki's age who would not talk about it at home, but then they had to leave the classroom months after because they had to cry. And it was, and others were like right away talking and were able to express their feelings. I think as a parent, all you can do is just to, have the door open and be like, do you want to talk about it? We don't have to talk about it. You want to share a memory? Maybe we talk about like the fun times and open the gate that way.
Yeah, I'm learning. Obviously, learning how to support her because, she didn't go to school for a really long time afterwards and won't discuss it and gets really mad if I mention anything. And it's like, I want to like have those moments, to say like, do you remember this, like this amazing thing? And she just won't, but I just, her little heart, I hope that one day that she can, because I think also when we hold these things in, that, as we know, causes physical issues and whatnot. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. That's her grief. Like how is, like everyone's grief is different, right? That's what we're kind of talking about is.
Absolutely.
It's all different. And I'm sitting here wanting her to grieve differently because it would be easier for me if we could just talk and cry, but she can't. She's like, I'm doing it like this. I'm shutting down and I don't want to talk about it. And
that's okay.
Yes. And like when you got that fucking comment saying you should have grieved this way, that's what I think why we wanted to talk about this and why we always talk about people wanting us to just do it differently. And here I am kind of, doing it to my kid. Like, why can't you be more emotionally like open? And
well, you're probably saying that because that's how you know how to be there for her, because you know how to help her through that if she's that way. And that's okay, because as your mom, you being her mom, you want to help her. You want to be there for her. And when she's not talking to you and she's processing it differently, you don't know what that is. But you're actually also doing an amazing job of giving her the space to get there when she's ready.
Yeah. And that's how I want to, I want you to lead me, Jess. And I always say, like, you just lead me. What's today? Are we going to just lay here and watch TV and not talk, which is amazing when we do that? Are we going to laugh? Are we going to go sit and have lanai talks? Are we going to cry? And I want you always to lead me, because I never want to project onto you I don't want to project my own grief onto you, but I know you're always like, come on, lady, just be honest.
Well,
but
I think actually there are some similarities between, a chronic illness and grief, and people have to understand that sure it's the same for you, that you will never know what the next step feels like. In 1 minute you can feel really good, and then something happens, something triggers you, and you never know what it is. And I have learned that it's not for example, I was so scared of May this year because it was Mother's Day. A few days later, Madita's birthday. But what I have learned is it's not for me at least, that's my thing. It's not the big days, because they are coming and you can prepare. You can be like, okay, this day is coming. I have to face it. What do I do? Let's come up with a plan. So I'm not waking up in the morning and be like And so we actually had a little party for Madita with some of her friends on Mother's Day. I wanted to do something I've never done before, and I did that. It's those small moments where you just, Christina, when we went on our little staycation, and we were sitting in that restaurant, and we were talking to this waiter who first pretended not to know you, and then he wouldn't leave our table anymore. And so I was in this really good place, and then there were tables in that restaurant that you couldn't see, and I think at one there was a family sitting there, and all of a sudden the kids started singing "Happy Birthday, Mommy," and that was like, all of a sudden you're out of this good place and in this dark place. And that can happen anytime. I feel just especially for you guys, probably, you can walk and your legs feel good or the body feels good. And the next step, it really hurts. And I think it's the same with grief.
Yeah.
And the stupid judgment, doing it right. How do you, or
it's because someone came up with the stages of it. And then you're like, am I supposed to follow these things? And then you can't. It's like not even humanly possible. Sorry.
And what I read so often is like, and I don't even know what that means, is the harder you love them, that the harder you will grieve. What does it mean to grieve hard? Who wins? It's not a freaking competition. Do you grieve hard when you sit in your bed and cry all day?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you grieve hard? Or is that harder grieving than trying to get up and take a shower? I talked to someone who was saying, well, I had a good moment, but every time I have a good moment, I feel bad. I don't feel bad for having a good moment. When I have a good moment, when I have fun or when I laugh, I imagine that my girls high five each other up there.
Huh.
And they are like, look at mommy, she's laughing, she's having a good time, she's doing it. I decided for myself, I cannot get rid of this thing. This is my life now. This is the cards I have been dealt. I cannot get rid of it. So I can either exist with grief or try to really live with grief. And I think to honor my girls, I should live with grief and living my life. Is it hard? Does it suck? Yes, all of that. Does it suck to open a drawer and see a hairbrush where, you see their blonde hair and you're just holding that brush so you can touch their hair again? Yes, it sucks. All of it. But then once in a while, I have a good moment and then there's hope. And like I said, then I think that's when they are like, yeah, come on, mommy, one step at a time. Some will hurt and some will make your heart a little lighter.
I remember Jamie, you wrote something on your Instagram and it was this beautiful, beautiful thing about the girls and how you feel. And you said, I'm going to have to accept that I'm always just a little homesick. And that was
that's what it feels like.
It was
me.
like, oh,
I feel
my God.
That's because people often ask me, or some people ask me, what does grief feel like? And I thought about it. And for me, the closest is it feels like constantly being homesick, that you're longing for this place. You know what it looks like, but you cannot find it anymore. You know what it feels like, but you just can't go there anymore. And but I think I said it in that post that it's when you're feeling homesick, it also means that you're missing something really, really beautiful. And that's why you're longing for that place. And I'm proud that we created something beautiful, that I'm proud that I told my girls every day, I love you. And they told me they love me, and they were my biggest cheerleaders and I was their biggest cheerleader. And I think they still are. I see them still cheering there for me.
And I was going to say, I think people are going to listen to this. Obviously, people are going to listen to this and be completely moved. And we might have some assholes that would be like, this happens to people, that kind of thing, right? Like
we have no assholes here.
And we're like, no, but I'm like, no, our list, but
yes.
But it's like, but this happened to us. So we're talking from a place of personal experience and love.
Yeah.
And if anyone does say that, you can go suck a dick.
That's all.
I actually always say,
So-
because I also I won't do that because my girls are watching Christina, so I won't go and do that.
Oh yeah, sorry, ladies.
but
No, I wasn't saying you go suck a dick, Jess.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I'm saying to the people, if anyone has is snarky about anything that we've said,
I
then
feel-
that's
yeah,
how I feel.
But I also know, that some people are criticizing behind my back, and I'm like, don't do it behind my back. Call me, reach out to me. I'm happy to have this conversation with you. If you think I'm doing it wrong, if you think you have a better way, then let's talk about it. And then we'll see. But don't just, when this GoFundMe thing was started, a friend of mine, very old friend of mine, she is a very successful comedian in Germany, and she shared the link, and she had to shut her comments off because it was a lot of like, why would we donate if this Hollywood actor on a private plane, and
Oh God. Oh,
it was so nasty. But again, what's going on in your life that makes
That's
you
right.
so miserable? That not just, these are things you can look at and then you can say, this is not for me, but then to actually pick up your phone or your computer and start typing a nasty comment. What is wrong in your life? I feel sorry for you. What is wrong?
It's exactly what you said earlier in the podcast, that it says everything about the person and nothing about what they're actually saying. It says everything about where they are and what they're going through. And I think for so long, before people were being as vulnerable and open as they are today, which I feel like the conversation seems to be gearing more in that direction in general, people wanted a playbook. They wanted a handbook of how to get through things because there was no conversation. There was no open dialogue about the different ways that people deal with things. And now that we are so much more comfortable, or we're getting there in just understanding that life is hard and it is filled with tragedy and heartbreak and joy and love, like the way that we get through it and the way that we deal with it will never look the same, and it shouldn't. But in our vulnerability and in our conversation is how we can find community and peace and love. And so I cannot thank you enough for just being so brave. And it is brave. It is brave, and it is open, and it is generous of you to share the way you share yourself with somebody like your best friend, Christina, with all the people that would listen, and with me, who we've never met. I'm really grateful to you because you have taught me so many things in this little hour that we've spent together. And I'm just, thank you.
Thank you.
we love you, Jess.
Thank you. I love you guys too.
I pull a card at the end of every episode, and I pulled it right before we started and put it down. And we normally read it without a guest, and it's always spot on. So I'd like to believe that your girl sent you this card that I'm going to read you right now. Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was it. I just randomly picked that card.
I'm pretty sure the girls sent it.
Yeah.
I'm very sure.
Jesse, I love you. I'm going to see you when?
20 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bed hang today.
I look forward to meeting you one day.
Yes, yes, yes. I heard on the other episode that you guys want to walk Runyon Canyon. So
Oh yeah,
wanna
you'll do it with us.
I'm gonna like you heard, I'm good at kicking ASF.
I know
So
she made me go for her to teach me Pilates just recently.
Yes.
And then,
Keep kicking her in that tushy, Jess.
yes, I will.
hey man, I went to back to school night last night and I had to go to like 8 different classrooms and stairs and for
That's no
3
joke.
hours. 3 hours. And you know what? I came home and I was like, my legs were like, fuck you. We're done. Thank you very much. We're done for today. So we'll get there. Just baby steps. I mean, I walk like a toddler anyway, so it's okay.
I walk like a pirate, so we're a great pair.
Yeah,
A drunk pirate.
Drunk pirate. We have to do our own mom talk dances.
You can imagine.
we're gonna walk together.
Okay, we're gonna do
Yes,
it.
I can't wait, Jess. I can't wait.
Okay.
All right, I
Thank
love
you.
you.
And so
I'll
it
see you in
is.
20, baby. And so it is. This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windish.
And if you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.